Shalom, Kahaloyim, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Bashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles, elders, of great millstone, rule well over the flock of Israel. Shalom and salutations to you, Akim out here, but some words of truth and sincerity, and shalom to all the elect, Akim and Aqua, scattered Israelites and Israelite foreigners. Shalom. I brought this out. This video will be edifying. Okay, so, just laying back and off of Elder Yashawamba's video, I went straight to the comments. I saw a lot of good comments concerning precepts that deal with this man here, Elder Yeptha, Salaki, if I pronounce it wrong, one body in Yahushua, who now seldomly uses the name Yahushua, at least when he's talking to vocab. He sounds like he's second guessing everything that One West taught him. He's talking about these are precepts of men. He's changing up his doctrine once and for all, and we're not even sure if he's going to be around much longer, even calling himself an Israelite. All right, so this is what happens when a camp, see this camp, One Body in Yahushua, which is out of Dallas, has, I remember seeing them for a few years, but they got a handful of members. They got enough members, where a lot of people come to them for lessons on scriptures, and it's you see what's going on now as men are turning away from the fold or finding reason to leave. You got to ask yourself, like, what would cause somebody to do that? What would cause this man to now at this point in time consider that there's something better out there, or he was wrong the whole time, his gospel was wrong, or he needs a new gospel or something more along the lines of Christianity. He's preaching too much hate, and now he needs to talk about love and so forth and so on. So that just got me started on putting together a quick lesson. And Zechariah 11 chapter has a subject title, The Good and Evil Shepherd. But I'm going to hold and postpone that to the end. The story of the good and evil shepherd. I'm going to postpone that to the end because what we're dealing with is shepherds, right? And the shepherd, based on Google, is a person who tends herds. A person who tends herds, feeds, or guards flocks of sheep. A shepherd or a sheep herder. All right. A sheep herder, shepherd. A person who tends, herds, feeds, or guards flocks of sheep. And so lucky I'm kind of winding down in the day, so I ain't as amped up as I usually am. Lord willing, still edifying. So let's get right into it. Yahushua cared for his sheep, man. That's the perfect example of what we have when we consider the sheep to this day. Yahushua is not here. We're feeding his sheep for him. We're tending to his sheep for him. Many prophecies about the king, when the king leaves, and then the people tend to whatever mission or obligation or duty they had as servants of the king. And so when the king comes back, they can rejoice with the king. Not all of them will be rejoicing. So while Yahushua is gone, he have left us his flock. And the flock are made up of all the believers out here who aren't designed or, let's say, called to teach, prophesy, but they're called to believe. All right, they make up the rest of the elect, 1/3 of Israel who will be saved out of Babylon in these coming days and affliction, man. So Matthew 15:32 says, and then Yahushua called his disciples unto him and said, I have compassion on the multitude, because they continue with me now 3 days. I have nothing to eat. I will not send them away fasting, lest they faint in the way. The Lord saw them as sheep the whole time. All right. And he wouldn't even send them away unless they faint. And more importantly, what is that food that the scriptures tell you, the living bread and living waters, that when you eat this, you will not be hungry anymore. You will not be thirsty anymore. So, yes, the Lord is speaking literally, but to feed his sheep is what he asks us to do. And so if he cared for their well-being then, um, they still need that bread of life now, and where to feed them. Hebrews 4:15 says, start at 14, seeing then that we have a great high priest, that's Yahweh Shah. All right, we have a priesthood in our faith, in our covenant with the Lord. He would set up the Levites to be priests. Yahweh Shah um, wasn't a Levite, but he was a high priest. It says that is passed into the heavens. Yahweh Shah, the son of Yahweh, let us hold fast our profession. And it slipped my mind exactly where it said, talks about Yahweh Shah being a priest, but a high priest rather, but it tells you that he came in the order of Melchizedek. Melchizedek wasn't a Levite, but he was given the tithes, Abraham tithed to Melchizedek, like Tazadak, king of righteousness. So Yahweh Shah is a priest after that order. So it says that is passed into the heavens. Yahweh Shah, the son of Yahweh, let us hold fast our profession. Are we seeing this as a job and a duty? Remember, the king is gone, and now we are the servants that have control over the house. So we're supposed to live up to a certain obligation. And what Elder Yaptar is going to find out is when you take your hand off the plow, this is a very dangerous thing, man. So I don't know what you're going through. Maybe it's midlife crisis, mental breakdown, stress. Stress will do it to you. Maybe not eating right. Maybe not fast enough. Maybe not praying enough. But he kind of walking that ledge right now, so to speak. At least in his language, it sounds like he's retiring. He's trying to hang it up. All right. Verse 15 says, "For we have not a high priest which cannot be touched with the feeling of our infirmities, but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin." So Yahweh Shah came in the flesh. He was tempted. All right. The same way we feel sick and messed up, so did he. It says, "Let us therefore come boldly into the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in time of need." And that's the idea here. When you need it, Yahweh Shah is there for you. It's not often that you just sitting there alone and you got this truth, and you're teaching and you praising the Lord, you feeding his sheep, and he doesn't give you back anything. He doesn't give you anything you desire. You don't get any fulfillment out of it at all. He just drains you constantly. That's not the case. Scripture says, and find grace to help in time of need. All right. That's why we walk boldly. All right. Let's continue. Matthew 10:5 says, "These 12 Yahweh shall send forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." Why? Because we're sheep. We need a shepherd. The lost children of the house of Israel, they're sheep that have no shepherd and are walking astray in a wilderness filled with wolves. Yahweh said, "I shall send you forth as sheep amongst wolves." All right. So that's where we give our calling and our diligence and our lessons, and that's why we recite these words, and that's why we go out in the street corners. Not that we're trying to feed everybody. Not that this word can't benefit everybody, because eventually it will when we put the nations in subjection according to the scriptures and prophecy concerning the kingdom of heaven. The nations will be subject to us, and but our people are the ones who are teaching right now. Our people, Israelites, are the one who giving this truth to, rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel and this sheep. Numbers 27 and 17, which may go out before them and which may go in before them. Let me read up a little bit. And Moses spake unto the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the power of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, which may go out before them, and which may go in before them, which may lead them out, and which may bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd. Right? And that's when he chose Joshua. All right. So he gave them a shepherd so that they don't go in and, somebody can lead them in, out, go before them, in, out, because the sheep all need protection. And in this time and age, there's deception and lies and trickery all over. Man, it's witchcraft all over. There's cunningly devised fables everywhere. All right. There's slick talkers, and scripture talk about men that sleight of hand, be not deceived by the sleight of hand, meaning they're able to, with smooth speech, integrate falsehoods into doctrine and make it seem like it's true, and they're authoritatively in the light of a prophet, but they're not. They're in the light of a false prophet. We still get their judgment in the end, but as you can see, it was very important in that day and age to Moses, whose job was to look over Israel, to find a successor, somebody that is going to be like a shepherd unto them. Lord, it says that the congregation of the Lord be not as sheep which have no shepherd. So it's highly important that the men who is severed out to do this work not fold, not faint, but know why you endure, struggle, go through it, deal with the pain, endure. 1 Kings 22 and 17 says, And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills, as sheep that have not a shepherd. Because that's what happens when the sheep don't got no shepherd, they scatter. And that's where this man's going to leave a lot of the sheep. A lot of one body right now, they're toiling, they're not getting a lot of sleep right now. The sheep is not comforted over there in one body. That's the elder going on Vocab Malone show. Vocab Malone, the number one demon and devil for the past 15 something odd years. All right. To try to make the sheep scatter. He is the public enemy number one of this truth. And the Lord got a severe judgment for him. But now he got one of the old shepherds to basically give up the duty. And the shepherd sounded like he done, like he tired, like he ready to hang it up. And Vocab Malone is the perfect show to go on when you do hang it up. Why? Because it's getting intense. We're getting close, and the Lord's just opening up and revealing who his men actually are. Some are highlands. Again, and he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills, as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. So Israel's been through this before. This ain't something that you want to go through. And we praise Yahweh Shemiel Shah for sending us into a camp and really opening up our minds to choosing to be a part of and to be associated with the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, bishops including, who rule well over the flock because they saw their job and their obligation as something that they have to finish and not something that you just start and then halfway through you have a change of heart. But as you can see, You know, starting from the apostles on down to the camp leaders, on down to the new members, brothers in Great Millstone, we have more of a integrity that the Lord has pushed out on us because the sheep have to get fed. This is, let me see which one I got here. This is Isaiah. I'll start at 56. And 8, the Lord power which gathereth the outcasts of Israel saith, yet will I gather others to him, beside those that I gathered unto him. And that idea of gathering, once again, it speaks to the same concept. Sheep. Just think of Israelites as sheep with no shepherd, no master, astray. It goes on. All ye beasts of the field come to devour, yea, all ye beasts in the forest. And that's what happens when you're not gathered. The beasts begin to devour. Now think of a mind. What's the mind frame of somebody who's a sheep that's getting eaten by a wolf? Or that's a sheep that believes that the wolf is a sheep. That's why the sheep come in wolves. Wolves come in sheep clothing. To confuse the sheep, deceive the sheep, and to get them to be slaughtered. Once you commit to a worldview or doctrine that's of another book or another religion, or that has nothing to do with Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, serving the true God and power of the heavenly of everything, man. Once you are out of that zone, you are being devoured by a beast, man. All right, your spirit is being devoured. Verse 10, his watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs, they cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. So that's not the idea of having a dog. You want a dog that can bark, you want a dog that can see, you want a watchman that can see, because he has to report back to the king if there's any alarm. He has to ring the alarm. He has to warn people of what's coming. A watchman by nature has to have eyes to see. And so as men's eyes are starting to fail them because the spirit really wasn't on them to continue the whole fast, he that endureth unto the end shall be saved. You're going to see a lot of people, more sheep get scattered. And guess what? Some of them sheep are part of the elect. So they're going to go from being in a camp outside of GMS and then their shepherd's going to get smitten. Then they're going to go to another camp, maybe. And then that shepherd's going to get smitten. And then they're going to be astray again. And if the Spirit of the Lord is on them, they're going to find a resting place amongst the body of Yahweh Shah, the true body of Yahweh Shah, with all its members intact. Because, every man's going to be tried. And some are going to be tested and come to find out their dross or their wood and stubble, things that can burn up, while other men are considered like fine gold. Let me continue. Yeah, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. They are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look their own way, every one for his gain from his quarter. So they worry about they self, man. They getting the hell out of Dodge. That's what he doing, man. I mean, I couldn't see this video and see nothing less than that. I was a Pharisee. Only one body Israelite camp leader speaks truth, because he pretty much denouncing One West, which is where you even got your Hebrew name, man. Where you got your Hebrew understanding. It says, come ye, say they, I will fetch wine. That's it. That's it. Jeremiah 50:6 says, my people have been lost sheep. That's the idea. That's what you're dealing with. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. So you got a lot of shepherds out here. But then you got shepherds that weren't. They were hired. They're hirelings. They're not real shepherds. A real shepherd won't cause you to go astray. A real shepherd who cares for the flock will not allow the flock to go without food, raiment, water, um, green pastures. Okay. That's why these videos come out so often, every day, daily. It says they have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place. So the sheep is just wandering out here lost. It says all that found them have devoured them. Or their adversaries said, we offend not because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. And it all goes back to the Lord. The Lord is the one that caused us to be led astray in the first place. The Lord is what the scriptures tell you, the deceived and the deceiver are his. So the Most High has designed it so that only a few in a remnant, small leftover out of the nation of Israel is going to turn back and find the shepherds. And then he even mentions somewhere in this interview that, anytime you listen to man, and Apostle Dahar rightly said, hey, the Most High set up men. The Most High set up men. And when you watch the interview, even Apostle Dahar said it. Vocab was bringing out scriptures he wasn't. So he's a man that's basically winding down before his calling, right? He's not going. He don't seem like he going to endure it to the end. Or if you a shepherd, what's naturally going to happen to you? You either going to go astray, or you going to find a new shepherd if the Lord be with you, a better shepherd, a real shepherd of the Lord, or you going to get devoured out here with some wayward doctrine, or you going to go back to the Baptist church. All right. All right. Yeah, because when you ain't got no shepherd, man, you left to the wilderness to be devoured. Lastly, Ezekiel 34:3 says, start at 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel, prophesy and say to them, thus say the Lord power unto the shepherds. So this is just for the men that's leading the flocks. Woe be to the shepherd of Israel that do feed themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flocks? You over here worried about you eating, and you ain't worried about your flocks eating. These are Yahweh's flocks. You tend to them like you tend to yourself, like your own children. It says, ye eat the fat and clothe you with the wool. Ye kill them that are fed, but ye feed not the flock. The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken, neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost. But with force and with cruelty have you ruled them. And they were scattered because there is no shepherd. And they became meat to all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. My sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. This is dealing with different going through different nations we done been to, going to different churches we done been involved with, religion. Yea, my flock was scattered upon all the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord power, surely because my flock become a prey, my flock become meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did my shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves and fed not my flock. O ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I'm against thee. I'm against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hands. So that's what's going to happen. If you think that you good, you scot free, You could just walk away from all these sheep that you've been feeding. The sheep got used to eating from your hand, just like sheep do. And you was getting fat, and you made yourself good, and you prospered. But meanwhile, the sheep is going hungry now, and you starting to draw back. Now you starting to feed the sheep some other mess that they ain't used to eating. What you think is gonna happen? You're gonna ruin the sheep, and for that, the Lord gonna ruin you and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. There it is. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, and I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. So the Lord is taking away all of that. All right, this endless cycle of men stepping up to teach the word of the Bible, being a pastor one day, and then turning around and saying, "Nah, I don't do that no more. I'm good." That endless cycle is going to end terribly for these men that thought to even entertain the idea to be a shepherd, but not follow through with it. So let's go back to this quick word from Zechariah 11. That's called the good and evil shepherds. I got it in the NLT, and I'm going to read down the points all the way at the end. So listen up. It says, "This is the word. This is what the Lord my power says. Go and care for the flock that is intended for slaughter. The buyers slaughter their sheep without remorse. The sellers say, praise the Lord. Now I'm rich. Even the shepherds have no compassion for them. Likewise, I will no longer have pity on the people of the land, says the Lord. I will let them fall into each other's hands and into the hands of their king. They will turn the land into a wilderness, and I will not rescue them. So I care for the flock intended for slaughter, the flock that was oppressed." And that's what we're doing, tending to this flock, caring for this flock intended for slaughter, because we all know World War III is imminent. We all know no man is justified by his own works. By faith and grace are you saved, through Yahweh's blood. And those that do not believe are condemned already. Condemned to what? A terrible fiery death when the Lord comes back. Right, he's coming back for division. Set the sheep on the right hand side and the goats on the left. And the goats, they're going to be destroyed. The sheep going to be delivered. It says, "Then I took 2 shepherd staffs, and one named one favor and the other union. I got rid of their 3 evil shepherds in a single month, but I became impatient with these sheep, and they hated me too. So I told them, I won't be a shepherd any longer. If you die, you die. If you are killed, you are killed." And that's the idea of leaving the sheep, because they're going to get killed. They're going to die. It's like a baby. In the scriptures, they tell you that when you come into this truth for the first time, you're a babe. You're a babe. Desire the sincere milk that you may grow thereby. You're a babe. Nicodemus asked, "Does a man need to be put back? How can a man be put back into his mother's womb?" And the Lord said, except by the Spirit, except you are born again, you cannot be saved. So they're babes, and what happens when you leave a babe alone on its own? It dies. And so at any point in time when you consider leaving this work that you've started, you didn't just start gardening, my G. You didn't just start you ain't just fruit that don't bear fruit. You fruit that bring forth more fruit. Now if you dip out, some of your fruit might remain, but they gotta be reattached. They gotta get grafted in back into another camp, or find a new shepherd. They gotta go out in the wilderness again. Hopefully not to be eaten. And a lot of them sheep is gonna get eaten and die. It says, "And let those who remain devour each other." Then I took my staff called favor and cut it in two, showing that I have revoked the covenant I made with all nations, all the nations. All right. And that staff in the KJV is called beauty. Right. It's just the word here is Noam, Naim. Right. And go on to say that was the end of my covenant with them. The suffering flock was watching me, and they knew that the Lord was speaking through my actions. And I said to them, if you like, give me my wages, whatever I'm worth, but only if you want to. So they counted out my wage out for my wages 30 pieces of silver. 30 pieces of silver is significant because that's a amount that a slave costs. All right, in the law. And also that's the amount that Judas was paid to give up Yahushua whereabouts. It says, and the Lord said to me, throw it to the potter, this magnificent sum which they valued me. So I took 30 coins and threw them to the potter in the temple of the Lord. Then I took my other staff, union. When you go into the KJV, that staff is called bands. It goes on to say, and cut it in two, showing that the bond of unity between Judah and Israel was broken. Right? Broke the bands. Then the Lord said to me, so this was symbolic. Then the Lord said to me, go again and play the part of a worthless shepherd. Here's the point. Here's the point. A worthless shepherd. And let me get that interlinear real quick on that worthless. And as the King James says, foolish. Foolish. But it says foolish, impious, foolish. All right. Very simple. To be perverse. Folly. Worthless shepherd. All right. So it's perverse. Foolish. It says, go again and play the part of a worthless shepherd. This illustrates how I will give this nation a shepherd who will not care for those who are dying, nor look after the young, nor heal the injured, nor feed the healthy. We know shepherds like that. They don't look after the young, the dying. If they do get fed, they might get fed once every month. It says this shepherd will eat the meat of the fattest sheep and tear off their hooves. So they just use men for filthy lucre's sake. That's still happening in Israel. They don't care for the flock. It's a sharp reality, man. It's a strange reality, man. It's uselessness. What sorrow awaits this worthless shepherd? Here's his judgment. Who abandons the flock? The sword will cut his arm and pierce his right eye. His arm will become useless and his right eye completely blind. His arm is his power. All right. And his eye, you can't see. He has no sight, man. He's useless completely now. So the Lord going to deal with all the shepherds who are useless, worthless, lazy, not feeding the sheep, not healing the injured, not taking care of the flock. Because they don't care, because they're worthless. So the Lord got it out for them. I brought this out of this video. Was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.